Okay, this is GamerBlave, and we're back with Shadowrun Dragonfall. And if you missed the last episode, then that was a pretty intense episode, I gotta admit. We went in and we were supposed to get a prototype, and we didn't really have any information about what this prototype was when we went in to the mission. But it turned out that it was a troll that had been heavily modified to become basically a drone. And during the mission, it turned out, or right at the onset of the mission, it turned out that the guy who we had been dealing with beforehand in our previous video had actually asked us to kind of go against the guy who had hired us to do that particular contract and turn the prototype over to them instead. Anyway, so the situation started to get convoluted from the onset. Okay? But not only that. So, to add another log onto the fire, at the very end of the mission, it turned out, you know, that this drone, this entity still had the living mind of this troll inside of it. So what I elected to do after some deliberation was to free this troll, not really knowing what it was going to do, and it elected to kill itself. So without really knowing what to do, at that point we sort of loaded the troll's body into the first client's van. It came to this point. Okay, so sorry about that long-winded synopsis, but that does bring us to an interesting scenario right here, where I don't really know what's going to happen, because we were riding the U-Bahn back to the Kreutz Bazaar, right? And we were talking to Amsel on our comlink, and that got cut off, and the tram came to a stop. So we get a transition out here, and my thinking is that Luca Dewar has set up kind of an ambush for us. That's what I'm thinking is happening here, but I'm not positive. So we're going out here into the unknown. Now, another thing to note is between the last video and this one, I did switch the difficulty to hard. I switched it over to hard because it felt like we were doing kind of I don't want to say it'd been easy. I feel like it's been fairly challenging, but you know, we've been getting through it pretty okay, and I just wanted to be you know, I play most games on my channel on hard, and you know, I want to kind of stay true to that with this one. And when I had started this game a long time ago, that wasn't really my core philosophy. So I'm gonna go with that here. So, well, there's not an immediate attack happening here. It's a fuse box. Nothing looks out of the order. Try swapping the old fuse that is in the bathroom to track. I'm gonna leave it alone for the time being. But that seems like something that we may have to do here in a minute. Tunnels collapsed, not getting out that way. Item picked up, we found a fuse. Looks like some squatters are living in this station. We've got bridge controls here. It looks like the console could extend that nearby bridge to cross the tracks, but with the power out, the entire thing is non-functional. Okay, so we have a fuse. And it looks like we're gonna have to slam it into this, we're gonna have to slam it into this thing. Item fuse, add an extra fuse to bathroom, add an extra fuse to track. I don't know why we would want to add a fuse to the bathroom. That just seems like it's not really going to work. The old fuse that is in bathroom to track. Let's do that. The lights in the bathroom are out. The status light next to track remains red. Add an extra fuse to track. You place the extra fuse into a socket next to track. The light next to track lights up green. I don't think we need a light in the bathroom. That just doesn't seem like something that we need. Extend the bridge. The mechanical bridge smoothly slides out and spans the gap over the tracks. Of course, it seems like if the track was powered down, we would just be able to walk onto the track and walk across safely. If there was no power in it, it would seem like, whoa, it's so dark in this maintenance area, you can barely see your hand in front of your face. Holy crap. It is freaking dark in here. Reset the breaker box. Holy freaking crap. This is an ambush, to say the freaking least. Well, we've got 3 of them in here. So, am I better off getting into cover or just trying to go for it? I think I'm gonna try to get into cover first and then deal with them from there. So let's see, Blitz, get over here. Blave. I'm just gonna run up to this guy and give him the old katana. And let's see, ignores the weapons. Pommel strike. Let's do that if it's gonna do more. Okay, yeah, definitely wanted to take away his AP there. Iger, let's get you here. Okay, that guy's got an AP down, so let's go after the guy that we've got the best chance to hit here. And Dietrich. Let's move you over here. And let's give you an aim, or give an aim boost to Iger for the time being. Gee whiz, they're really not happy with Dietrich for right now, are they? Man, even with an AP down, that guy was able to move and shoot. Okay, those guys are some good grenade fodder right now, I think. Blitz, we've got a flashbang grenade. My -3 AP to everyone in the blast makes targets easier to hit. Actually, Iger has this flashbang, which is one of her levels. So she gets this automatically every time. So this is something that she gets to use no matter what. So I think that she should go ahead and use this because this is free for her, basically. I mean, she doesn't get to use multiple ones per mission, but you know, this doesn't really cost anything for her. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. That worked out nice. Nicely. And let's go ahead. I think Blave is going to be able to really light this guy up here. And Blitz, probably going to be able to do pretty good damage to these guys here. Dietrich. Yeah. They aren't liking this one freaking bit. That worked out pretty darn well. Let's go ahead and reload and then go pick that item up. Dietrich, go ahead and heal yourself. He's the only one that got nailed in that battle. That was a pretty good ambush they had set up for me, but it did not pay off for them. Did not pay off one bit. Go ahead and reload your rifle there. Iger. I have to assume that that is Luca Dewar's doing. Encrypted PDA. Let's go ahead and move over here and then reload. Yeah, something tells me there are going to be some in here, and then there are going to be some back on the track as well. So let's just move with a reasonable amount of caution here. Now, just out of curiosity, since Dietrich used... Yeah, okay, so his air elemental is gone, but he does have his earth elemental. I don't want to open the door until everyone's kind of down here in position. Actually, wouldn't mind getting Iger kind of back where Dietrich is. Everyone else I'm going to get kind of in a position more or less down. Okay, hold on a second. Can't quite position everyone exactly where I want. Particularly easily here. There we go. Okay. Dietrich, go ahead and open the door there, buddy. Yep, figured there were going to be dudes all over the place. Oh, Blave. They are right there, aren't they? Everyone's got line of sight blocked except for Blitz. I'm assuming that there's probably guys down here too. You know, we can fall back in here and hope that they're going to come after us. But they very well may not. Let's see. Dietrich, move a little bit. Now, Dietrich has gained the Overwatch ability, which is nice. Has Iger? Iger has 2. Nice. So people are gaining the Overwatch ability slowly here. That's really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and give this guy a burst and then move back. And I've just left Blave out in the open here. Nice. Wrecked that guy. Now this guy is moving in. Okay. This is bad. I can't believe he didn't go after Blave, since Blave is right out in the open. Blave is right the heck out in the open. Okay, so let's go ahead and haste Blave here. So Blave can give this guy the beans here and then end move. Either move or reload, one of the two. Iger. Let's go ahead and overwatch that, because I guarantee you there are more guys in there. And let's, once again, it's too bad that Blitz is not exactly, this is not ideal. Let's go ahead and move Blitz back, and then I'm going to move Blave here. Oh, that's not cover. That is not cover. Well, shoot. let's just move him back. I guess Iger's the only one that's really got cover there. Swing and a miss. Oh, they're going for it. He blocked it. That's strange. I know he's got a little bit of dodge capabilities, but that is really interesting. This unbalances them, making them a little easier to hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit him with that. Okay, that's good. Nice, couple of crits. I like that they come to me. That is really, really nice. It works out that way. Let's go ahead and see if we can finish them off this way. Okay, sweet. That worked out. That worked out really well. I don't think we can get through there. No. Get your muscle to force the door? Oh, maybe she can. Iger shoulder checks the door and a crack of splintering plastic fills your ears. The door pops open. Sweet, maybe there's some stuff in here. The top of the line is Ares military spec high explosives grenade. What would you like to do with this item? Send it to the stash. Wow, damage 20. That's nice. Whoops. Cool. It is nice to have someone who can do that. Now I'm assuming we've got to bring the bridge up. Let's get everyone on this side of it before I do that. Okay. Before we move the train. There we go. The mechanical bridge smoothly slides back in and angles upwards, clearing the path for the train. Board the train and return to the Croy's Bazaar. Let's do it. The rest of your trip home is uneventful, but one thing is clear, someone is hunting you. This ambush was no chance gang warfare, but an organized attempt on your life. If Green Winters was right, then whoever killed him is after you now. Oh, okay, so he's not, then we're not necessarily suspecting Luca Duer here. We're suspecting the people who are after Green Winters. The PDA that you retrieved from your attackers may hold some answers. It's time to return to your safe house and consult Paul Amsel. Let's see, have we gained any karma here? We gained 10 karma. That's gonna come in handy there. And the first thing that I'm definitely gonna get, well, okay, we can return this data that we gathered, which is really the only thing that we're going to get any freaking money out of from that mission, to the Schockwellenreiter, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Probably not. Probably massacring all the German. Gained 2 more karma and received $1,000. How about that? The machine accepts the data upload, and only a few moments later a certified cred stick is spat out of the coin slot. The phone's old LCD readout displays the text, Freedom, Equality, Information, Schockwellenreiter. Alright. So we got 2 more karma, and that puts us up to 15 total karma. Now, what I wanted to do, the one thing that I know I want to do, that it's not going to take me any deliberation in doing. Well, actually, it may take me some deliberation. Whoops. Spend karma. I wanted to pick charisma. Oh, shoot. So now I'm gonna I'd have to pick which one of these that I want. I picked street, but there's, man, look at all these different etiquettes. So I'll have to pick which etiquette I want. So yeah, this is actually gonna take me some time. So I'll do my level up once again in between videos when I get around to that. But we're not done with this. I do want to talk to Amsel before we go on. And he also did say that there was a contact in the cafe. But let's talk to Amsel first. Alright, Herr Amsel. Herr Amsel. Paul Amsel. Amsel calls over his shoulder at the sound of your approach. His eyes are glued to his computer's display. Blaive, Frau Müller should be on her way, but before you go to the meeting site, I have news. He glances at you and his words trail off. Upon seeing the expression on your face, Amsel's voice becomes grave. It can wait. Tell me what has happened. I had some trouble on the U-Bahn. Somebody set up an ambush. Nothing much, got attacked by a bunch of idiots who didn't know who they were messing with. They lost. Bad news, my friend. Somebody is hunting us. They set up an ambush on the U-Bahn. I'd go with 1 or 3 here. Let's go with number 3. Amsel pauses, then gives a curt nod. Truth be told, I've been expecting something like this might happen. I'm just glad you made it out alive. Hand over the encrypted PDA. One of the attackers dropped this. Amsel takes the PDA from you and examines it. Yes, I should be able to extract some information from this. Give me a moment. He plugs the PDA into his computer and goes to work. A few moments later, he lets out a grunt of dismay. Well, Blaive, I was able to recover a file, but unfortunately, that's all I'll ever be able to pull off this thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. It must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant that I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PDA and drops it to the ground. It clatters to a rest on the metal floor. What did you manage to pull off of it? 1 whole file? Nice job, Paul. Damn it, we're in trouble enough already. We can't afford to lose what few leads we have. There's no use getting mad at him. A COM file. The audio is all there, but it looks like we've only got a video file from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on screen. Bachmeier. The voice bleats out from Amsel's speakers, filling the room. Aldrin here. What's your status? Bachmeier's image is garbled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir. You were right. We spotted him on the U-Bahn, just like you said. Probably on his way to a job. As per your instructions, we're gonna try to take him out on his way back. He'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on ammo too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Bachmeier. Will do. Tossman is rigging up an ambush spot now. We'll try to make it quick. The orc with a nightmare face nods. Send me a comm when the job is done. Aldrin out. The image on the computer screen dies. Amsel turns to face you. Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Blaive, I suspect that Green Winter's predictions are coming true. I believe that Feuerschwinge is behind this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel the worry that's eating him. Be on your guard, you and the rest of your team. You made it through this attack relatively unscathed, but next time, you might not be so lucky. At least now we have a name to put to the face. Aldrin. We'll be fine. I carried us through this attack. I'll carry us through the next. That's not all we have. As I was saying when you first walked in, I have been productive as well. I was able to recover some new evidence in your absence, and coincidentally enough, that evidence pertains to our scarred friend. You might recall that I said I'd dig into Audrun's skin grafts. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contacts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel pulls open a file on his computer. A medical chart opens on the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital, after all. Yeah, I'm gonna use my Biotech 4 to read the charts. Yeah. My guy's pretty much, he's pretty much good at killing folk, and that's about it. which is why I wanted to, round him out with charisma, but I don't think he's going to have skills like biotech and intelligence. Now, I really wish that you got to, in the field, it is really nice how you do get to exploit, for instance, like your companion's decking abilities, and for instance, how we just got to have Iger bash that door open and things like that. I do like how that kind of stuff works. But it would be nice. I guess it would be nice to be able to use like some of your party to be able to do some stuff like this. Like, for instance, if you had someone in your group who could read the charts, they could say, oh, okay, well, I know something about this, and then they could dumb it down for you or something. But I mean, maybe Paul Amsel's about to dumb it down. I don't know. What's the takeaway? The charts are light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Musterman, the local equivalent of John Doe, but they do cover his injuries in great detail. Aldrin's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he had sustained third-degree burns over 60% of his body. Most damningly of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body had absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionizing radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happened afterwards remains a mystery. He pauses for a moment, studying your reaction. Your thoughts? Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything that comes to your mind. Aldrin might have spent some time in the socks. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Well, those burns sound like dragon fire, but if the Firewing burned Aldrin, why would he be working for her now? The hospital couldn't ID Aldrin. Either somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. I don't know. I mean, it could be any... Well, either those two are plausible, or somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Let's go with that one. Indeed, if Aldrin was a denizen of the Socks, a glowpunk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. Amsel adjusts his glasses. It's a working theory, at any rate. So, one way or another, Aldrin is off the books, either due to living off the grid or a cover-up after the fact. Do you have another takeaway to share? Well, if the dragon is after us, man, making the leap to dragonfire burning being the cause of the burns and the need for the resultant skin grafts is potentially a bit of a stretch. That being said, we are in the world of, potential things such as, we just had the inhibitor chip, which could potentially, there are things that could cause him to change sides or come around, or maybe he could have just gone psycho or crazy, or any number of things. But I think that the first one is more plausible, because that doesn't mean his injuries came from Feuerschwinge. Feuerschwinge, I don't know the pronunciation there, but this one, I'm going to go with the top one here. Agreed, 5,000 milliverts is a lot of millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Short of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor, I don't know how he would have absorbed that much ionizing radiation without spending time in the socks. Alright, so Aldrin was so heavily irradiated, most likely from time spent in the socks. What else does this tell you? Okay, so I got no choice but to say that as well. I don't think that Aldrin is working for the Firewing. I believe that he is serving her. On Green Winter's second DVD, it mentions that there's a cult within the Sox that worships the Firewing, the Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. I believe that Aldrin belongs to this cult. Well, working for would mean getting paid, and serving would, mean that they're just, a faithful servant of. So I understand the difference. That's a bad news, or at least I think I understand the difference. That's bad news. There's nothing more dangerous than to sell it. My thoughts exactly. A hireling can sometimes be bribed or reasoned with. A pawn can be liberated. But if the Firewing soldiers look upon her as a goddess figure, nothing short of killing her will deter them. And even that might not stop them. So, to sum it up, Aldrin has probably spent time in the Sox. It's possible that he even lived there as a member of Forishvinga's dragon cult. And he is after you. Amsel pauses for a moment before continuing. In my mind, all of this reinforces one fact: we need to find Vauclair. And we need to do it fast. Well, and Vauclair seemed, in the last DVD stuff that we had seen, it seemed like he was falling apart. But, I mean, I guess he does have the best information on, what we need to do about the dragon. So, yeah, I guess you're right. Good. And that's all the more reason to gather Alice's fee as quickly as possible. There's a buzzing sound from Paul's wrist. He lifts the hand to look at his PDA, and as luck would have it, Frau Mueller has arrived. Best of luck at the meeting, Blave. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. Oh, man. That is intense. So, I don't really have a bunch of money. We did pick up a decent chunk of medical supplies on that last mission, and that is fortunate. That is fortunate. So basically, we will go talk to Frau Mueller, find out what this mission is about, and that's probably what we will do. And I would imagine that's probably what that'll probably wrap this video. So for one, if you're not into the role-playing elements, then, I hate to send people who are watching these videos elsewhere, but if you're not into the role-playing in depth of this game, then I'm not entirely certain why you would be watching this, because this game is definitely about the immersion and the role-playing, and I'm into it. The combat is awesome, and I like it, but this is about really finding out what's going on, and it's weaving this really interesting tale, and there's a lot of other things going on here too, and they're bringing in all these different subplots too, with this Luca Dewar guy, and now we potentially just made this other client mad at us too, because we we delivered a dead prototype to him too. So we might have him mad at us too. I don't know. But anyway, there's an awful lot going on in this game, and it's just such an intricately designed universe here. It's very cool. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to her and, find out what she has to say. We might decline her offer. I don't know. But that's probably going to be where we wrap after this. And then we'll have our mission objective, and then we'll go on it in the next video. But I just wanted to disclose that so you didn't... so those of you who, think that something else might be going on afterwards, aren't disappointed. As you press your way forward through the cozy, smoke-filled confines of Cafe Kesva, you catch sight of Frau Müller. She appears as Amsel described her, an impressive-looking woman of Astlaner, I really don't know how to say that, Astlaner descent, with coffee-colored skin and dark, wavy hair. Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you and hesitates only slightly before speaking. Blave, I presume? Herr Amsel told me that I could meet you here. He wasn't lying. He said that you had a job for me. She holds her silence for a moment and nods. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need for your help. She offers you a small smile. An assumed name, obviously, but I have been told that this is how you people do business. She straightens in her seat and tries on a smile. It hangs there for a second, then fades away. She sighs. From my accent, you no doubt inferred that I'm an Astlaner? I can't read that word, let alone pronounce it. Further, you may have guessed who I work for. I'm afraid that I haven't. Care to fill me in? You tell me, I'm not in the business of guessing. Ast Technology. Ast Technology? I'm the only Astland-based corporation operating in Germany. I've been with the company for over a decade. Over the course of my employment, I've worked on a great many projects, from the innocuous to the obscene. My hands have touched it all. Never once did I question the wisdom of our research. Never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. I kept my nose down, worked hard, and excelled at the tasks set before me. They must love you there. Yeah, I get it. Keep talking. Go on, please. Had to wet my whistle there. Last month, I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin, and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The other detail that I was given was the name of the project, Bloodline. Catchy. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time, you can see the cracks in her composure. She's doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down, this woman is terrified. I've seen many terrible things in my life, Blave. In Tenochtitlan, blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means. In the underground markets, people are brought and sold as chattel. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all these things by the age of 12. She takes a deep breath, then lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, it changes you, makes you numb. But what I found when I arrived here was worse. This project, it horrifies me, Blave, and it must be stopped. Tell me everything you know about Bloodline. She shakes her head. The less you know, the better, for both of us. You'll have to trust me on that. You need only know that it is evil, and that is not a word I use lightly. If you won't tell me what this Bloodline is, how do you expect me to stop it? Evil is a childish term, Frau Müller. There's no such thing as good and evil, black and white. The sooner you learn that, the better. You have to understand, Frau Müller, I can't accept a job without knowing what it entails. Well, I'm really curious. I would like to know more about it. If I go on the mission, I'm sure I'm going to find out all about it, or at least a lot about it. But she definitely has me very curious. And that's really interesting about this, is like most of the time we go into these missions knowing very little about it, and then as we get there, then we just like start finding all this stuff about it. Like on that last mission, you know, like all these details just started to come out, and then you know, we actually got to the prototype in that last. Anyway, I digress, but it's very interesting how this game reveals details to you. All right, fine. What do you want me to do about it? She leans in and looks you in the eye. I want you to bring the building down. Whoa! Whoa! That's a lot of death and destruction. The computers, the research data, the mages, and the scientists that are working to bring about this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash and buried in rubble. No compromises and no exceptions. Her tone softens. I'm sure that you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I've spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people. But I do know that you are the only ones who can get this done. So tell me, Blaive, is there anything more that you need to hear from me? Or are you ready to make a decision? Gee whiz. What about any innocent people in the building? None of us are innocent, Blaive. But if you need to salve your conscience, rest assured that in the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be in the site will be security and senior members of the research team. And I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. In this matter. If the Bloodline project reaches completion, nobody will be safe ever again. This sounds like hyperbole, I know, but it isn't. The Bloodline project will lead to countless deaths. I am certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that doing so will probably cost me my own life. I'm not a demolitions expert, Frau Mueller. How do you expect me to level a building? You don't need to be. All you'll need is a competent decker. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading. In the event of a power spike, the system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how you can disable those safeguards. Once the generators begin to overload, you'll have a limited time to reach a safe distance. The explosion will be quite catastrophic. What can you tell me about building security? Expect it to be tight. In addition to their standard security teams, as technology has taken out a knight-errant high threat response team contract to protect the building. Corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. That should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. At any rate, I believe that I've come up with a solution to the knight-errant problem. I'll discuss the matter with your Herr Amsel if you decide to take the job. Let's talk compensation. 36,000 Nuyen, as I told your Herr Amsel. That's what I've allocated for the job. Oh man, to believe her or not to believe her? That is the question. I tend to think that going there, I will find, especially if I bring Blitz there and he accesses some terminals and whatnot, that I will find some information on this project, and that I will know a little bit more about what the project is, and thus whether or not she is just trying to massacre a bunch of people to, you know, take out some corporate competition, and thus whether or not I need to carry out the project, or whether or not it actually is something that you know, needs to be eradicated, and whether or not this needs to take place. So You know, I think we can take the job. I think we can take the job. Her face visibly brightens. In that case, it's a deal. I can't tell you how relieved I am, Blave. Thank you for helping me to bring this nightmare to an end. I will iron out the remaining details with your Herr Amsel. He'll want to bring this, he'll want to talk this over with you anyway, I'm sure. You're a good man, Blave. You're saving more lives than you know. That's pretty darn intense. That is pretty darn intense. Notify Herr Amsel about your meeting with Frau Müller. So I think we can do that too. Talk with good buddy. Good buddy. Herr Amsel. Herr Amsel. Hopefully he's not going to be too pissed about it. I don't think that he really cares what I decide to do, just as long as we get money. Welcome back, Blave. How did the meeting with Frau Müller go? I accepted the job. Any ideas on how to tackle this? Yes, a few. Frau Müller has provided us with detailed information on the facility. I vetted the information and it seems to hold up. Based on this intel, I have formulated what I believe will be an effective strategy to bring down the building. According to Müller's intel, the facility is extraordinarily well guarded. Whatever this Bloodline project is, the Azzies have spared no expense to defend it. The facility is patrolled by Az Technology's internal security personnel. On their own, they would pose a challenge, but I don't doubt that you could brute force your way through them. Unfortunately, they will not be on their own, as Technology has purchased one of Knight Errant's more expensive security contracts as an additional line of defense. Well, yeah, that would be kind of tough. That would be kind of tough, probably. Let's see. Yep, he doesn't think it's a very good idea to kick down the front door either. I pulled some strings with an old contact of mine, and he's provided me with an address of a small software developer, OTK International. They write the firmware update for Knight Errant's comm systems, and their defenses should be considerably weaker than Az Technology's. My contact has informed me that OTK stores an off-site hard copy of every firmware update it develops for data security purposes. My suggestion is this. You hit the offices of OTK International and reduce their computers to slag. In the interim, I will have the hard copy of their next update replaced with a compromised version. When OTK's next update goes live, our compromised version will be pushed out to Knight Errant. When you hit the Az Technology facility, I'll be able to track Knight Errant via their comm links. This should make the run much more manageable. He fishes in his pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a corporate ID with your face on it. This will get you through the front door of the office park that contains OTK International. My contact was only able to provide me with one card, so you'll need to let the rest of your team in through a side door. Man, this is cool. That's pretty cool. I'd rather just hit, I can handle whatever they throw at me. No, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like a pretty good plan. Very good. OTK's offices aren't far from here. You should take the U-Bahn there when you're ready. Okay. So I think that's a pretty good place to take a break for this one. We do have a mission and a plan for that mission. Between this episode and next, I will be leveling up my party. You can see that they all have a new level they've all attained a new level. I'll also be leveling up myself. I don't really have very much money, so I probably won't be buying any new equipment. I think I've got enough medical supplies. I might purchase a couple more grenades because I think we're kind of low on grenades. We did pick up maybe one or two in the just grabbing them in the last one, but in the last mission. I think we just found a couple, but I might purchase 1 or 2 grenades. Other than that, I think we're pretty good supply-wise. So I do have a couple of just business items to take care of before the next mission. But other than that, you know, we're pretty darn good. We're pretty darn good to go. So we'll head straight into the mission at the beginning of the next video. So all that being said, if you like this video, then go ahead and drop it a like. And if you liked it a lot and you want to see the rest of this playthrough or anything else that I may be playing on this channel and you are not currently subscribed, then go ahead and subscribe as well if you feel so inclined. But regardless, as always, thanks so much for watching, and we are going to be picking up right here next time.